All right, ready to dive into the world of jewelry making. But this time, we're focusing on how to nail that jewelry interview.
Yeah, using some really cool tools from RoleCatcher like their career guide, AI insights, all that good stuff.
Think of this as our way of helping you craft the perfect responses, just like a jeweler crafts a perfect piece.
The thing about this career is it's such a unique blend of creativity and technical skill.
Yeah, like you're an artist, but you're also a craftsperson with some serious know-how.
Exactly, and that's something that really comes through in The Jeweler, the complete career guide. Like you need to be as comfortable using a blowtorch as you are with a delicate design.
Totally. Not just about making things look pretty, it's understanding the materials, the techniques, the whole process.
For sure, and that's what you want to get across in your interview.
So let's jump into some of those common questions you'll probably get hit with.
Okay, so a classic one is, can you tell us about your experience as a jeweler? Now, this might seem pretty straightforward.
Yeah, you've been a jeweler, so tell them about it, right?
Right, but it's actually your chance to go deeper and show them the range of your skills.
Oh. It's like showing off your portfolio, but with words instead of gemstones.
Exactly. So instead of just listing every single job you've had, pick out the projects that really highlight those skills the job description is asking for.
Okay, so like connect the dots for them, show them how your skills translate.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's say they're looking for someone who's really good at casting, right? You could talk about that bronze sculpture you made, even if it wasn't jewelry.
Oh, interesting. So it doesn't have to be specifically jewelry.
Not necessarily. The point is to show them you understand the process.
So explain the steps, the challenges, the result, the whole thing.
Exactly. And you know what's really cool? RoleCatcher's AI can actually analyze the job description and suggest relevant experiences from your past.
Whoa, wait, so it can dig through your memories and be like, hey, remember that time you...
It's kind of like that. It can help you bring up things you might not have even thought of.
That's amazing. Okay, so what's another question they might ask?
Well, another common one is, how do you stay up to date on the latest industry trends and techniques?
Oh, so they want to know you're not stuck in the past with old methods.
Exactly. This is where you prove you're a lifelong learner.
Like you're keeping your skills sharp and you're excited about new things.
Right. And The Jeweler, the complete career guide, actually talks about how 3D printing is starting to change the game.
It's not all hammers and chisels anymore.
Nope. So if you've got any experience with 3D printing or CAD software, or even just if you follow industry blogs and forums, talk about it.
So show them you're curious and you're paying attention to where the industry is heading.
Yeah. And again, RoleCatcher's AI can give you an edge here.
How so?
It can point out those industry buzzwords from the job description so you can sprinkle them into your answers.
Oh, like a cheat sheet to sound super knowledgeable.
Exactly. Okay, let's move on to a question that's all about your creative process. Can you walk us through your design process?
Ooh, this is where you get to share your artistic side.
Exactly. It's not just about listing the steps. It's about showing them your unique approach to jewelry making.
Like giving them a peek inside your brain, how you go from idea to finished piece.
Right. Do you start with detailed sketches? Are you more inspired by a particular gemstone?
Maybe you create mood boards with colors and textures.
Exactly. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's about being authentic and passionate when you describe your process.
And don't forget to add some memorable details.
What do you mean?
Like if you get inspired by nature, you could say something like, when I see a delicate fern unfurling, it gives me ideas for intricate filigree work.
Oh, I see. Those little personal touches make you more memorable?
Exactly. And you know what's cool? RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your practice answers and suggest ways to make them even more engaging.
Really? So it's like having a coach who helps you polish your delivery.
It can even suggest adding personal stories or adjusting your tone to sound more confident.
Wow, that's amazing.
Okay, next question. How do you ensure the quality of your finished products?
Quality control. That's huge in jewelry making.
Right, because even the tiniest flaw can stand out like a sore thumb.
The Jeweler, the complete career guide, really stresses that, even a tiny scratch under magnification can ruin a piece.
So when you're answering this question, you really want to emphasize your attention to detail.
Be specific about the tools you use for precision, like calipers or even the special lighting setups to spot imperfections.
And don't be afraid to mention how you handle customer feedback, too.
Yeah, it shows you care about making sure your clients are happy with the final piece.
You could say something like, I always encourage clients to inspect the piece under magnification and ask any questions.
Right, because you want them to be completely satisfied.
And again, RoleCatcher's AI can help you fine-tune your language here.
How so?
It can analyze industry-specific terms and suggest ways to use those keywords naturally in your answers.
Oh, so you sound like a pro who really knows their stuff.
Exactly. All right, let's move on to a question that's all about problem solving. Can you tell us about a challenging project you worked on?
This is where you get to be the hero of your jewelry making story.
Time for story time.
Pick a project where you had to be resourceful, maybe think on your feet, show them you can handle the heat.
Like you had to improvise a repair with limited tools, or you came up with a totally unique design solution under a crazy deadline.
Exactly. And remember, details are key.
Yeah, paint a picture for them, describe the challenge, how you figured it out, the steps you took, the satisfying ending.
Think of it like this. You're not just giving them facts, you're telling a story that shows off your skills and personality.
I love that. And RoleCatcher's AI can even help you analyze your story and make it even more impactful.
Really? How?
It might suggest adding sensory details, like describing the feel of the metal or the sparkle of the gemstones.
Oh, wow. Or maybe highlighting the emotional impact of the project, like how it made the client feel.
Right, because a good story sticks with people.
Okay, let's move on to the human side of the job. How do you approach customer service as a jeweler?
Because jewelry is often tied to big emotions.
Yeah.
Engagements, anniversaries, heirlooms.
Yeah, you're not just selling a product, you're helping people celebrate important moments.
So empathy is key here. You need to show them you understand that.
Right, and The Jeweler, the complete career guide, really emphasizes building trust with your clients, making the experience special for each person.
So share an example of how you went above and beyond for a customer.
Like maybe you helped a nervous groom pick out the perfect engagement ring.
Or you calmed down a frantic bride who lost an earring right before her wedding.
Those are great examples. It shows you understand the human element behind the craft.
That you're not just working with metal and stones, but with people's emotions and memories.
Absolutely. And you know what's really cool? RoleCatcher's AI can even analyze your video rehearsals and give you feedback on your body language and tone of voice.
Whoa, that's like having a personal acting coach.
It can help you project confidence and authenticity, which is so important in an interview.
That's amazing. Okay, next question. How do you stay organized and manage your time effectively?
This is where you show them you're a master of organization, especially in a workshop that can get pretty chaotic.
Yeah. That with all those tiny parts and tools, it's easy to lose track of things.
Exactly. So whether you use specific software, a color-coded calendar, or just have a really good system in your head, explain how you keep everything running smoothly.
And connect it back to the customer experience.
How so?
You could say something like, my system for tracking repairs ensures clients get their pieces back quickly and are kept informed throughout the process.
Oh, I see. It shows you're thinking about the bigger picture and how your organizational skills benefit the clients.
Exactly. And guess what? RoleCatcher's AI can even suggest industry-specific examples to strengthen your answer.
Like what?
It might recommend mentioning things like Kanban boards or specific project management software that's popular in jewelry workshops.
Oh, so you're not just saying you're organized, you're showing them, the industry standards.
Precisely. All right, let's get personal. How do you stay motivated and inspired in your work as a jeweler?
This is your chance to really geek out about what you love.
Let your passion shine through. Do you find inspiration in nature, art, history?
Technology, other jewelers, share what gets your creative juices flowing.
And be specific. Talk about artists who inspire you, books that have shaped your perspective, exhibitions that left you buzzing with ideas.
Remember, enthusiasm is contagious.
Let them see that spark in your eye when you talk about what fuels your creativity.
It's what sets you apart from other candidates.
And before we wrap up this part, I want to highlight something awesome about RoleCatcher. They have a massive database of over 120,000 practice interview questions.
Wow, that's a lot.
Right? And they're all categorized by career and skill, so you can practice answering questions that are super relevant to the specific job you're applying for.
And their AI even gives you feedback on your answers, helping you fine-tune your content and delivery.
It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket. Now, we know that was a lot to take in. So be sure to grab a notebook and jot down those key takeaways before we dive into part 2.
We'll be back with even more tips and tricks to help you ace that jeweler interview.
So stay tuned.
Welcome back to our deep dive. We're going to keep prepping you for that jeweler interview, and this time we're tackling a question all about adapting to change.
Which is super important in any field, but especially in jewelry making, right?
Yeah.
Things are always evolving.
Totally. So they might ask you something like, how do you see technology changing the jewelry industry in the next few years?
So they want to see if you're paying attention to what's new and how it's impacting the craft.
Exactly. It shows you're not just stuck in your ways with the old techniques, but you're also thinking about the future.
You know, The Jeweler, the complete career guide, talks about 3D printing being a total game changer.
It's pretty amazing, right? I mean, you can create these intricate designs that would be almost impossible to do by hand.
And it lets you prototype so much faster, try out different ideas, customize pieces more easily,
Yeah, so if you have any experience with 3D printing, definitely talk about it.
even if it's just playing around with 3D modeling software, right? Show them you're curious about it.
For sure. And you know what's really helpful? RoleCatcher's AI can analyze industry trends and pinpoint the emerging technologies that are relevant to the specific job you're applying for.
Whoa, so you can drop those keywords into your answer and impress them with your knowledge.
Exactly. Okay, let's switch gears for a second and talk about a question that's all about handling pressure and setbacks.
Because let's be real, everyone makes mistakes, even the best jewelers.
Totally, it happens, so they might ask you something like, can you tell us about a time you made a mistake on a project? How did you handle it?
Ah, the classic tell me about a time you messed up question.
But it's not a trap. It's a chance to show them how you learn from your experiences and bounce back from setbacks.
So don't be afraid to be honest. Pick a real mistake you made, but focus on the positive.
Yeah, like what you learned from it, how you fixed it, how you prevented it from happening again.
For example, you could say something like, I realized I hadn't double-checked the measurements before cutting the metal. It was a costly mistake, but it taught me to be extra careful with those details from then on. Now, I always triple-check my calculations and have a second pair of eyes look things over just to be sure.
That's a great example. It shows you're accountable and you're constantly looking for ways to improve.
And guess what? RoleCatcher's AI can help you refine your story and make sure you're hitting those key points.
Really? How?
It might suggest adding details about the specific steps you took to correct a mistake or the positive feedback you received after you implemented your new process.
Oh, so you're showcasing your growth and professionalism.
Exactly. All right, let's move on to a question that's all about teamwork.
Because jewelry making is often a collaborative process, especially in larger workshops or design studios.
Yeah, you got to know how to work with others, so they might ask you, can you describe a time when you had to work as part of a team to complete a challenging project?
This is your chance to show off your interpersonal skills, how you contribute to a shared goal, all that good stuff.
Pick a story that highlights your role on the team, the obstacles you faced, and how you overcame them together.
Did you have to delegate tasks, resolve conflicts, brainstorm creative solutions?
You could say something like, we were working on this super intricate bridal set with a crazy tight deadline, and we realized that our initial design wasn't going to work with the materials we had.
Oh, so what did you do?
We all put our heads together and brainstormed different approaches, drawing on each other's strengths. I suggested using a filigree technique I'd recently learned, which not only solved the design problem, but also added a unique and delicate touch to the piece.
Nice. So you're showing that you can think creatively, communicate effectively, and contribute something valuable to the team.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher's AI can actually analyze the job description and highlight the keywords that emphasize teamwork.
Oh, so you can weave those keywords into your answer and show them that you understand the importance of collaboration in this specific role.
Totally. Okay, let's shift gears again and think about your long-term goals.
Because employers want to see that you're ambitious, motivated, and have a vision for your future.
They might ask you something like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
This is where you connect your personal aspirations to the company's growth. So it's not just about you, it's about how you see yourself fitting into their long-term plans.
Be specific and realistic, though. Instead of just saying, I want to be successful, you could say something like, I'm really passionate about learning traditional hand engraving techniques. In 5 years, I see myself being a skilled engraver, creating those one-of-a-kind pieces for your clients.
That's perfect. It shows you've given it some thought and you're dedicated to continuous learning.
And RoleCatcher's AI can help you research the company beforehand so you can tailor your answer to their values.
Yeah, like if they're big on sustainability, you could talk about your interest in using recycled metals or ethically sourced gemstones.
That shows you're not just looking for a job, but a place where your values align with theirs.
All right, let's tackle a tricky one. What are your weaknesses?
Oh, this is the question everyone dreads.
But it's really just about being self-aware and honest.
The key is to pick a weakness that's not crucial to the job and frame it in a positive light.
Like you could say, I sometimes struggle with time management, but I'm using a project management app to help me stay organized and prioritize tasks.
Or you could say, I tend to be a perfectionist, which can slow me down sometimes, but I'm learning to balance my desire for perfection with the need for efficiency.
Exactly. It's about acknowledging your areas for improvement and showing them that you're actively working on them.
And you know what's cool? RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you reframe your weakness as a strength.
What do you mean?
Like, it might suggest highlighting how your perfectionism leads to amazing attention to detail, or how your drive to always improve keeps you ahead of the curve.
That's awesome. So it helps you put a positive spin on things.
All right, let's move on to a question that's all about passion. What inspires you as a jeweler?
This is where you get to share your love for the craft.
Talk about the artists, the designers, the historical periods, the natural wonders, whatever gets your creative juices flowing.
Be specific. Mention a piece of jewelry that blew you away, a museum exhibit that left you speechless, a book that opened your eyes to new possibilities.
For example, you could say, I'm totally obsessed with Art Deco jewelry. The geometric shapes, the bold colors, the intricate details, it's all so inspiring. I went to an Art Deco exhibition recently, and I'm still sketching ideas based on what I saw.
That's perfect. You're showing them that you're not just technically skilled, but you have a deep appreciation for the artistry and history behind it all.
And RoleCatcher's AI can help you name drop some influential figures in the jewelry world.
Oh, so you can show off your knowledge and impress them with your references.
Exactly. Okay, one last question before we wrap up this part.
Hit me with it.
Can you tell us about a time when you went above and beyond to complete a project or satisfy a client?
This is all about exceeding expectations and showing them you're willing to go that extra mile.
Pick a story that demonstrates your dedication, problem-solving skills, and that you care about delivering exceptional results.
Maybe you stayed late to finish a rush order, volunteered to help a colleague who was struggling, or went out of your way to find a rare gemstone for a client.
You could say something like, a client came in with a vintage engagement ring that had been damaged in an accident. It was a family heirloom, so it was really special to them. I knew it would be a tough repair, but I was determined to make it perfect. I researched antique jewelry repair techniques for hours and even talked to a master jeweler who specialized in vintage pieces. In the end, I was able to fix it perfectly, and the client was over the moon.
Beautiful. That story really showcases your commitment and your passion for the craft.
And RoleCatcher's AI can help you highlight the specific skills that are most relevant to the job description.
Like if they're looking for someone who's detail-oriented, you can emphasize how you meticulously restored the ring.
Exactly, so you're tailoring your response to what they're looking for.
That's amazing.
All right, we're back for the final stretch of our jeweler interview prep. We've covered a ton of ground, from showing off your technical skills to highlighting that passion and adaptability.
We've talked about how to handle those tricky behavioral questions and how RoleCatcher's AI can be your secret weapon for crafting amazing answers.
But before you walk into that interview room, there's one more thing we got to talk about.
What's that?
Your chance to ask questions.
Oh yeah, that's important. It's not just a formality at the end, it's your opportunity to show them you're genuinely interested and you've done your homework.
Right, and it's also a chance for you to gather info and see if this is the right fit for you.
So how do we make the most of this Q&A time?
Well, first things first, be prepared.
Don't just wing it, have some questions ready to go.
Exactly. Come in with some thoughtful questions that show you've done your research and you're thinking critically about the role and the company.
RoleCatcher's AI can actually be really helpful here. They have this feature called Career Compass. It helps you explore different career paths within the jewelry industry, understand the skills needed for each role, and even find potential employers who align with your goals.
Oh, so it's like a personalized roadmap for your jewelry career.
It's pretty cool. So instead of asking generic questions like, what's the company culture like? You can go deeper.
Give me an example.
Okay, let's say you notice the company is expanding their online presence.
You could ask, what are your plans for incorporating virtual design consultations into your business model?
Exactly. That shows you're thinking about the future of the business and how you can contribute.
Or maybe, based on your Career Compass research, you found out the company is really committed to sustainability.
You could ask about their sourcing practices for gemstones and metals.
Right, like, I'm really interested in working with ethically sourced materials. Can you tell me more about your company's approach to that?
Perfect. It shows that you've thought about your values and how they align with the company's mission.
And remember, asking questions is not just about gathering information, it's about building a connection with the interviewer.
Show them you're engaged, you're curious, you're genuinely interested in what they have to say.
Listen attentively to their answers, And don't be afraid to ask follow-up questions to keep the conversation going.
Exactly. It's a dialogue, not an interrogation.
And one final tip, always end your questions on a positive note.
Like what?
Something like, I'm really excited about the possibility of joining your team and contributing my skills. What are the next steps in the hiring process?
That's a great way to wrap things up. It leaves them with a good impression.
So there you have it, our deep dive into the world of jeweler interview prep.
We've armed you with a whole toolbox of tips and strategies to help you shine bright like a diamond.
Remember, you're not just applying for a job, you're showcasing your artistry, your passion for this incredible craft, and your ability to evolve with the industry.
And with RoleCatcher's AI-powered tools by your side, you'll be ready to tackle those tough questions, highlight your unique strengths, and land that dream job.
As you prepare for that interview, we want you to think about this. With all this new technology transforming the jewelry world, what role do you see yourself playing in the future? Will you be the master of those traditional techniques, blending them with the latest innovations? Or will you push the boundaries of design, experimenting with new materials and approaches?
The possibilities are endless, like the facets of a beautifully cut gemstone. Good luck, and let your passion shine through.